The gentleman from Ohio, Mr. Chabot, is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Lewandowski, thank you for appearing this afternoon to testify before this committee. I understand that you've spent many hours testifying voluntarily before Congress over the last few years. Isn't that correct?
It is.
And have you had to hire and retain counsel to represent you for all the investigations that you've had to endure simply because you served as the president's campaign manager?
Yes, sir.
That's unfortunate because you didn't solicit or receive assistance from the Russians, did you?
No, sir.
Are you an agent working on behalf of the Russian government?
No, sir.
As a close friend and advisor of the president, you don't believe that the president is working on behalf of the Russians, do you?
Absolutely not.
And to your knowledge, there is no effort on the part of the president to intentionally obstruct justice, is there?
No, sir.
Thank you. And yet again, coming here to tell this committee what we, Special Counsel Mueller, and the American public already know, that President Trump did not collude with the Russians, nor did he obstruct justice. That's not to say that the Russians weren't trying to interfere and influence our 2016 presidential elections. It's clear that they were, by sending fake texts and operating fake Facebook pages and holding fake rallies, all in an effort to try to influence the outcome of the election. Democrats want to ignore all of the real evidence of Russian interference and hold this fake impeachment because it happened under a different president's watch. This all happened under President Obama's watch, isn't that correct?
Yes, sir.
And it was the Obama administration that failed to protect us from the Russian interference and influence in our election. Isn't that also true?
Yes.
President Trump wasn't president. He wasn't the one that failed to protect the country. If anybody failed, it was the Obama administration. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. We're wasting valuable committee time engaging in this impeachment investigation. The fact of the matter is, one thing this committee could be doing is to question Inspector General Horowitz concerning the bias against the president at the origins of the Russian investigation. We could be questioning Horowitz about his recent report how then FBI Director Comey mishandled department memos. This committee has such a rich history, has jurisdiction over a whole lot of very significant things. We're spending our time on this fake impeachment, but we could be focused on something that really matters, like immigration, asylum. We have hundreds of thousands of people that have entered our southern border. Generally, they're brought up either individually or in groups, caravans, usually, oftentimes connected with cartels. Cartels make a lot of money when they come up here. They're told the magic words, come across the border, they say that they're in fear, and come right into our country, and we put them on a bus or on a plane, and they're sent to communities all across the country. That's something this committee should be working in a bipartisan manner to do something about. Opioids. We had about 70,000 Americans who lost their lives to opioids last year. That's something in the jurisdiction of this committee, yet we do virtually nothing about it in this committee. Balanced budget amendment. It's something I've introduced in this Congress. We got a $22 trillion debt hanging over our head, yet we do nothing in this committee about attempting to actually pass something that would make us balance the budget every year, like all our states have to do. So finally, I just want to thank you again, Mr. Lewandowski, for appearing at today's hearing. Perhaps your testimony today will finally convince Democrats that there are much more important things that this committee could be spending our time on, rather than continuing to pursue this fake impeachment, a faux impeachment. The bottom line is they don't have the votes in the House to move forward, for the House to vote for this committee to open up an impeachment inquiry. They don't have the votes. Some of the Democrats want to vote for it. Some of the Democrats would vote against it, but they don't have the votes. So what they do is they spend valuable committee time that we could be spending on other important things on this fake, faux impeachment. And it's a shame, because this committee could be doing so much more on behalf of the American people. With that, I yield.